Tim Kuda's Weekly Top 5. Heard exclusively right here on CBKRadioland.com.
Tim Kuda with you here for the debut of TK's Weekly Top 5, the video and podcast version. As most of our frequent listeners and viewers know, which judging by the numbers I think is only a CBK myself, heck, my wife doesn't even listen or watch. CBKRadioland.com's live streaming radio station had to shut down last fall. Before we shut down, we were producing TK's Top 5s. I decided to bring them back, but in a video and podcast version without the music. Kind of. Due to licensing and copyright restrictions, I am very limited to what I can play and show, but I think I figured out a way to keep the countdown going. Even though I don't have the rights to play the music or show the video, iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube does. All the songs I talk about will be available via a link in the description below, embedded at timkuda.com, or via a playlist on both iTunes and Spotify. It's called TK's Top 5 because, heck, sounded good to me. Most of the time, it's 5 songs, or 5 things, or 5 whatevers. They may or may not be in order, and there may even be more than 5, which I like to call TK Extras. My goal is to dig up old or maybe even new memories of songs that once were good, but now are not. Well, some may still be good or even great, but for whatever reason, they are not played too often these days. Music defines time periods in our brains, and by revisiting an old song, sometimes we can revisit those memories. I am having fun doing this because I am finding songs that I have forgotten, quickly unforgetting them, and adding them to my playlist. Go to timkuda.com right now or search Tim Kuda on iTunes or Spotify, visit, and sing along. Now on to TK's Top 5. For this week's TK's Top 5, we are going to look at 5 songs that were on the Top 40 chart this week back in 1982 that we, or at least I, have forgotten. The Pointer Sisters had many hits in the 80s, including Jump for My Love, Automatic, Slow Hand, I'm So Excited, and Neutron Dance, which was featured in the first scene of Beverly Hills Cop, where Axel Foley gets bounced around the Lucky Strike cigarette truck. That ain't me, I'm from Buffalo. I probably should have said Axel Foley played by Eddie Murphy, but who doesn't know that? This week, back in 82, the Pointer Sisters had a song on the chart that sounded like something more out of the 50s doo-wop era and had a video to match it. Should I Do It peaked at number 13, and in the video, the Pointer Sisters don long dresses and 50s garb. The song was written by Lane Martine Jr. and was actually recorded a year earlier by Tanya Tucker, if you can believe that. The song was meant to be a follow-up to Slow Hand, but didn't really go anywhere except for number 13. I don't remember this song, nor will be adding it to my playlist. We've posted the full video on timkuda.com, so check it out. Maybe you'll remember it. Greg Guidry, who grew up in St. Louis and would write songs for the Climax Blues Band, Robbie Dupree, Exile, and Reba McEntire, as well as sing backup for the Allman Brothers and Michael McDonald, had a hit back in 1982 with Goin' Down. Goin' Down would hit number 22 on the Top 40 chart and number 17 on the Billboard this week in 82, but would go no higher. Guidry would not have any other hits the remainder of his career, and sadly, his life ended July 28, 2003, when he lit his car on fire and burned himself to death. I am not sure if I've heard of a suicide in that fashion before, but it doesn't sound pleasant. I don't remember this song either, and after listening to it, I can see why I don't, but check out the full video on timkuda.com right now. Do you know what they call a Cajun gravy base used to make gumbo? I didn't either until I learned about the band Leroy. Founded in Baton Rouge in 1978, Leroy, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly because I never took French, had a few minor hits, if you want to call them that, with one of them being Nobody Said It Was Easy, Looking for the Lights, which peaked at number 13 on the Top 40 chart and number 18 on Billboard. Categorized as a southern rock/pop band, they signed with RCA in 1981 to record Last Safe, their fourth LP, which included Nobody Said It Was Easy. Lots of harmonies and somewhat cheesy video. This is your typical 80s song that probably should have been in the 70s. Not making the playlist, but it is available to watch right now on TimKuda.com. Tina Wayworth and Chris France, who were in the Talking Heads, founded their own group in 1981 called the Tom Tom Club. Apparently, the couple frequented the Bahamas a lot and named their band after a dance hall there. Back in 1982, the band would come up with a #1 dance hit that has been sampled more than a few times. In fact, if you were having a Name That Song contest, when you hear the beginning of this song, most people would shout out, "Fantasy, Mariah Carey." But it actually could be this week's number 37 song on the top 40 chart, "Genius of Love." It was cool to hear the familiar synthesizer sound, and I do remember this song from back in the day. However, this one will stay in the day, as every time I hear it, I keep waiting for Mariah. Check it out right now on TimKuda.com and you decide. Before we get to number 1, here are some great songs from 1982 that I didn't forget about and are already on my playlist. I would recommend them for your playlist as well. Number 5 this week, Olivia Newton-John, "Make a Move on Me." Great post-Grease Olivia song. Number 8, Stevie Wonder and "That Girl." One of many underrated Stevie songs. Number 11, Buckner and Garcia, "Pac-Man Fever." Makes me want to find an arcade right now. Do those even still exist? Number 15, Quincy Jones featuring James Ingram, "100 Ways." Did James Ingram ever have a hit by himself in the 80s? Number 16, Paul Davis, "65 Love Affair." I always thought Huey Lewis sang background on this song, but apparently not. Number 19, and yes, this made it all the way to number 19, "Take Off," Bob and Doug McKenzie. Take off, hoser. This song features Geddy Lee of Rush and is very Canadian, as you would expect. Number 36, Mike Post and the theme from Magnum P.I. Amazon Prime has the entire Magnum P.I. series, and you know I've been binge watching that. These and other great hits from 1982 are on my playlist right now. Back in 1980, Sue Rindy Ross and her husband Marv Ross, along with Jack Charles, Rich Gooch, and Brian David Willis, were in 2 different bands, Seafood Mama and Pilot. In June of 1980, Seafood Mama performed their song "Harden My Heart," which was a huge hit in Portland. Following that performance, the 2 groups merged to form Quarterflash and recorded "Harden My Heart" together, which was a big hit, topping the chart at number 3 in 1981. They followed up with "Find Another Fool" in 1982, which would rise to number 18 this week. That would be it for Quarterflash, and I think most 80s fans remember "Harden My Heart," but "Find Another Fool" may have fallen out of favor and is collecting dust at the bottom of your 80s playlist. Well, knock off the dust, because it's back on my playlist, and it's our number 1 song this week. Check it out on iTunes, Spotify, or at TimKuda.com right now, and remember this hit from 1982. That's it for TK's Top 5 this week. Once again, check out TimKuda.com for a complete list of songs mentioned, or search Tim Kuda on iTunes or Spotify to hear all the great music.
Hey, thanks for listening to Tim Kuda's Weekly Top 5. TK's Weekly Top 5 is produced by Tim Kuda and brought to you by CBKRadioland.com. I'm Cannonball Kelly, and be sure to check us out next week for another Tim Kuda Top 5.